Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another amazing episode on LIFEPOD with CEE, a podcast that draws inspiration from daily living. And I am so super excited to have you on this amazing episode. It's the new year, 2026. This is officially our first episode for the year. And really, this is officially a new season 6. And this episode really opens the new season for us. I am so excited. I'm really excited. And I'm a bit shaky because I decided to do something new. Since 2020, when I started this podcast, it has always been an audio content. It has always been an audio podcast exclusive to just AudioMac, Spotify, and all of that. But then late last year, I decided, after having a few conversations with some people, some of my friends, I decided, you know what? I think we want to push this out there. One of the reasons is that I don't think I'm someone who loves to rewatch my stuff or who loves to. I'm not very keen on going back to my content, even my podcast. But then I just decided that I was going to put myself out there and not care about what anybody has to say. Like the interesting song that we opened the year 2026 with. It says, I go leave shame for back like waiting. You know the rest. All right. I think that's a good place to start off this episode. Today, we want to be talking about something very interesting. You see, if your new year is going to be productive, there are certain things you're going to do, and that's what we are going to be talking about today. I found something very interesting. I was just sitting down and thinking about what I should talk about today. I was just thinking about it, and then I saw in my notes where I wrote down, because one thing that happens to me is ideas come to me anywhere, and that's why I'm glad we have this interesting feature that we carry around us, which is the notepad on our phones, on our mobile devices. I just pulled out my mobile device and I just pulled out my phone and I saw where I scribbled down my notes, strategy, system, and structure. Strategy, system, and structure. And this was something I got in one of my meetings that I was in attendance, and I just discovered that, okay, you know what, this is something we should talk about, because entering into the new year, there are certain things you're going to do in order for you to achieve what you have set out to achieve. Am I correct? Am I making sense so far? All right, so now we're talking, like I said earlier, we're talking about strategy, structure, and systems. And I feel like this is a game changer. I feel like this is going to be a game changer for us, especially entering into the new year. Something interesting has been said. He said that it is crazy or it is madness to continue to do the same thing and expecting a different result. And so if you are trying something over and over again and you're getting the same results that you are not pleased with, the best thing for you to do would be for you to look through what you're doing, see what isn't working, and try to see how you can work on your plan again so that you can get the best positive outcome. All right, now, like I said before, we're talking about strategy, structure, and systems. Now, let's start off with strategy. Think of strategy as your roadmap, your plan. What do you need to do to achieve this? Now, I am going to do X, I'm going to do Y, and I'm going to do Z. When I do these three things, then I will achieve Q. It's that simple. And so what that means now is, if I don't do these things, then I will not be able, or I may not be able to achieve Q. So now you see that getting a result now becomes predictable. It becomes possible that, you know what, he has done what he needs to do to achieve X. So if he does everything he needs to do, he should be able to achieve this. Does that make any sense so far? So you see now that your strategy is your roadmap. Your strategy is your plan. Now, when it comes to building or putting together or piecing together your strategy, there are a few things you need to consider. First off, you need to know what your goal is. What is your end game? I want to become a millionaire by December 31st, 2026. I want to own the chain of businesses by Q4. I mean Q3 2026, or whatever it is. What is your goal? What do you want to achieve at the end of the period under consideration? What do you want to achieve? What is your goal? That is the first thing you need to consider. You need to know what your goal is. You need to have set your goal by this time. And then the next thing is, how will I go about achieving what I have achieved? That is strategy. And then the next thing will be to prioritize these things that you have lined out, these things you have put together. So you see now that you have been able, with these things in place, you have now been able to align or outline, as the case may be, what your strategy will be going forward. Now, next thing we want to look at, it's not really a long one. The next thing we want to look at is the structure. Now you have talked about your strategy. You have put your strategy in place. What now is your structure? Your structure is your framework. Your structure is like the skeleton, the body, right, that supports your strategy. It is how you organize your time. It is how you, remember I talked about prioritizing. It is how you organize your tasks, your environment to align with the achievement of your goals. A good structure will definitely help you stay focused and on track. Now, let me pause here to say something. When it comes to the structure, your strategy, and your system, what you are focusing on, even though this may sound somehow, I don't know how you're going to take it, but I feel like there's some truth to this. And this is me being vulnerable right now. I stand corrected. But I believe that in setting your strategy, your system, and your structure, what your focus should be on is process, not really your end game. Because you see, when you have been able to put your strategy, your structure, and your system in place, your goal is to a large extent settled. But you see, your focus now should be in your process, because it is in process that men are made. A man is formed in the processes that he has put or established in himself, around himself. When you have a process, then you can now say that you have been able to put yourself in a place where you can say you are established. All right. So back to what we're saying. We're talking about structure. Things you can do to make it easier is, number one, to create a schedule. Create a schedule. This is a no-brainer. Any day you go into without a schedule, any day you go into without a plan, that day is already lost. I can tell you for a fact. Guys, I can tell you for a fact. If you fail to plan your life, someone else will come with his or her own plans that will influence your own day. Let me put it this way. If you refuse to live for yourself, if you can't live for yourself, let me put it that way. If you can't live for yourself, then you will definitely live for others. That is what I'm trying to explain by all that plenty shalaye that I have been shalaying up and down. And there is something about just being productive for yourself. There's this joy that it gives you. I don't know about you. I feel great any day I just am able to clear out my task for the day. I didn't make money that day, but just the fact that I wrote a to-do list and I cleared my task for the day, it gives me so much joy. That is why I'm big on processes rather than results. Results will always come when you follow processes. But see, guys, focus on processes. So we've talked about creating a schedule. Next will be setting boundaries. Look, guys, this one cannot be overemphasized. Setting boundaries. So there are certain things you shouldn't be doing at a certain time of the day. There are certain times that nobody can call you to get you out of what you're doing, no matter who the person is. Maybe if it is a life or death situation. Life or death situation. Set boundaries. I can't talk about it. Let's leave that one. And then another thing is to use tools and apps that will work for you. There are several tools. There are several tools that range from the regular, in fact, tools like normal, regular alarm clocks. That one is one. We also have notepads. We also have, Evernote is is a type of notepad. We also have tools like ClickUp. We have tools like Notion, and so on and so forth. Use tools and apps that work for you. Check. Just go and check or ask questions. You will find tools that are relevant to you. Use them. These tools will work for you. They will help you structure your life. Remember, with structure, you are able to live with it. When you have a structure for your life, you find that you're now able to live a regimented life. And sometimes people are scared about living a regimented life, or people are scared of regimented life sometimes. But you see, really, at the end of the day, you find out that regimented life you have is actually for your own good. All right, so I think I'll stop there for that. Now let's go over to systems. Systems are processes. Again, we're back to processes. Systems are processes and habits that drive your daily actions. These are routines that make your goals inevitable. You see, now it's almost certain that you achieve your goal when you follow a given process. But the key now is to follow the process. What is the process that has been put in place? Follow that process. And once you're able to follow it, result is almost inevitable. So that's that. Think of systems as the autopilot mode for your life. So when you have, when you put a plane on autopilot, it means that without even doing too much, the plane is still moving. And I dare say, moving smoothly. You're not doing much because there are certain things that have already been, things that photographers and video editors and all of that will call presets. With presets, you don't need to do much. Just come, plug it in, activate the presets, and everything just goes. And you continue with your life. Everybody is happy. There's peace all over the world. Talking about systems, develop daily routines. I talked about regiment. Develop daily routines. And then automate repetitive tasks. So those tasks that that every day you have to repeat it. Find a system. Find a way. Now we're back to systems again. Find a way to automate those tasks so that it doesn't take much from you, whether it is time, whether other resources. And then review and adjust regularly. Now, with all of that out of the way, I have just one small action step to share with us. Very key. Start by auditing your current strategy, structure, and systems if you already have one. But if you don't, make it a point of duty to establish a working system for yourself. Strategy and structure. You have a structure, you have a system that powers that structure, and then you have a strategy to be able to get the goal that you have established. What is working for you? What's not working for you? What for those things that are not working for you? It's a no-brainer. Just discard it. And then what's working for you? Find a way to reinforce those things. Then make those tweaks today. See how you can change a few things here and there, and you will see your productivity rise to a level that can only be imagined. Anyway, that's all for today's episode. I'm so grateful to you all for making it today. If you're watching on YouTube, just subscribe, man. You guys, just subscribe. And also like it so that the algorithm can push the content to more people. And also, if you're listening on AudioMac or Spotify or any other streaming platform, please do well to share the link with your friends, with your family, and your loved ones. And I'll be seeing you on the next one. Peace.